is very interesting that Peter Thiel has bought a 12 million mansion in Buenos Aires, and he has now shifted to Argentina with his children, all the way from the US. And the reason that he has given is that he feels he has concerns about which direction the US economy is actually going. And especially his old base, the tech sector, which is primarily based in California, the direction it is going in. Because of these two concerns, he has moved out of the US and has now made a plan to settle down in Argentina. For that purpose, he has bought a 12 million mansion in Argentina. So you see, this is not just some ordinary person. This is the very person who is right at the center of the entire surveillance network that is currently running in America. The one who, through the complete misuse of big tech, created profiles of people all over the world and went on to establish a massive surveillance network via big tech. So this is not just some ordinary person who is shifting out of America. And before him, as you already know, there is Balaji Srinivasan, who has already repeatedly talks about the network state. I call it digital prison cities. He calls the network state, a slightly fancy name. So he has also shifted out of America to somewhere in Singapore. So you see, slowly but surely, the big shots are now shifting their base, just as the requirements of multipolarity in a multipolar world would dictate. So they will want to establish themselves in different countries, and we are also seeing the direction the American economy is going in. Anyway, let's move on. Secondly, it is quite obvious the IPOs for SpaceX, OpenAI, and Anthropic are all coming up. Michael Burry, the same person who predicted the last economic crisis back in 2008, is saying that these three IPOs will bring about that same crisis. That is what he believes. Here, my own understanding is very clear, that when the world's richest people actually start asking for money from the people of Bhartiyas, well, the reversal is becoming clearly visible. So I really will not be surprised if very soon individual investors start getting emails from SpaceX or the X company asking them if they are interested in these investments or not in Elon Musk's company. So individual investors will also be reached out to for money. That is what I feel, because the American economy is in a very, very tight spot. NSA Ajit Dovalji, he is talking about a multipolar world order. And where is he doing this? In Moscow. And he is clearly stating that the nations of the global south no longer want to have a single country that dominates them. So what this means is the global south now wants an equal seat at the global table. So here we have our NSA talking about this multipolarity, and that too in Moscow. I tweeted about this above. It is time for the +2 travel. Let's move on. And this is obviously about a Gujarati girl who has unfortunately been killed in Canada. So, I mean, what more can I say? I am completely tired of repeating myself. Only a completely mad person would live in Canada. Why would anyone want to live in Canada, brother? You have to be utterly stupid to live in Canada. Getting an education there is out of the question. So I do not know what this madness is. I do not know. I am tired of saying you will get killed. In fact, my guess is that every quarter 100 dead bodies are coming from America and Canada. Every single quarter. Every 3 months, 100 dead bodies are coming from Canada and the US, and absolutely nothing is being reported. So those who have this intense passion to sell their land just to go there, well, their wishes are going to be fulfilled very soon. Now, another big sensational video has come out. Again, as usual, a Patel woman was murdered at a counter in America. And I really think that in a short time, the use of AI will begin against NRI families. Meaning, AI will be used to find out exactly which family member comes and goes at what time. So it becomes much easier to steal their jewelry. So I think this will start happening very soon. Now, here is a big fighting scene on an American street. This is very normal, especially in all those states where racism and this sort of thing happens a lot more. So this Western fake woman empowerment, its clear meaning comes out something like this. that I do not even know where my father is, where he is or who he is. So America is a nation which is actually fatherless, meaning it is all single child, single mother families. The absolute mess they have created in the name of women's empowerment with divorce and this whole culture, they have started spreading it to all other nations as well in the name of women's empowerment. So this is the result of that. So someone here was asking me about these two women fighting in America, who will win? So I answered that the company in Tirupati that makes wigs from human hair will win. They're both pulling each other's hair out. Let's move on. The way Marco Rubio came to Delhi and the kind of celebration that he had. There was the American Independence Day celebration, and besides that, his birthday was also celebrated, and a lot of symbolism was seen. There was also the Quad meeting of foreign ministers, which, as usual, Bharat was hosting this time. So this visit by Marco Rubio was a bit different because, first of all, it was not a state visit. So some people are saying that he was not given the proper protocol. Who went to receive him? Who went to see him off for the farewell? I think that does not matter because this was a summit visit, not a state visit, and tourist destinations were added. So it does not matter who sees him off. Otherwise, as well, considering the American behavior for the last 1.5 years, after that, it is also quite normal to receive the cold shoulder treatment. Anyways, for instance, when our Jaishankarji goes somewhere, who exactly comes to receive him? That's also something that's taken into account now, you see. I have a feeling that the background for the deal is being set up. Because first and foremost, we are seeing an agreement on rare earth minerals that has been signed by both countries. And now their delegation is coming to Bharat for that very deal that has been pending for the last 1.5 years. So that at least some part of it can finally be concluded. And just as I said last time, when the Bharatiya team and Piyush Goyalji himself had gone all the way to America, and seeing the kind of behavior from the Trump team, it really felt like the Indian team had decided, now you're the ones who have to come to us if you want a deal at all. So I think what was said back then is becoming evident now. They were the ones who had to come. So next week, a negotiation team is arriving from America. Mostly it will be the final touches on whatever portion has been agreed upon. And it is extremely important for this to happen so that the crisis we are all waiting for can finally take place. Secondly, we are seeing that there are a great many discussions going on about the Gymkhana institution, and it is truly very shocking that an institution which is being described as being affiliated with the Lahore Gymkhana Club, the one in Lahore, and even is also affiliated with a Bangladeshi Gymkhana Club. You can see it on their website. And affiliation means that the members of the Lahore Gymkhana Club itself, under a reciprocal arrangement, can visit the Delhi Gymkhana Club at any time they want and make use of its facilities. Are you beginning to understand what was going on in Delhi? Just a short distance from the Prime Minister's residence, and by a short distance I mean a stone's throw away, right there, the members of the Lahore Gymkhana Club were getting easy access. Do you realize how massive of a national security threat this is? So whenever some people ask, hey sir, why is the government always talking about security? Well, the security issue is the biggest issue of all. Especially when you are giving access to those kinds of people right around the Prime Minister's residence, who can plan absolutely anything. And in 2022, an FIR was filed on this very matter regarding the drone footage that came out during the Tiranga Yatra. An FIR was filed on it, stating that you had compromised the security of the Prime Minister's residence from your very own premises. So inside the club, there were many such activities going on that were extremely suspicious. And some people say that this is an institution. Now, some people have come to argue this is an institution. What kind of institution is this, really? Here, a startup incubation for every kind of gang is happening. What kind of gangs? People from every single gang who come up with one brilliant idea after another on how to loot this very nation. That Gymkhana Club, the one in Delhi, is the main den for it. So how to capture the prime properties of Delhi? How do the Babus capture them? How do the journalists capture them? The ones who feed on Congress's cash flows. How is it that the old cronies and their associates managed to grab Delhi's prime properties completely for free? You have judges, all the so-called brown sepoys that Britain left behind, every single one of them got it for free at absolutely no cost. They captured the prime location properties in Delhi, our national capital, and the very first and most prominent example of that. If there is anyone who invented that entire concept, it is this Delhi Gymkhana Club. Obviously, all Gymkhana clubs should be investigated now. Orders have already been given in Maharashtra. The biggest den for the most corrupt people in the entire world is, without a doubt, the Gymkhana Club. And a second very interesting thing that is coming up is that it is being reported that in Pakistan, some of the names that were changed during the whole decolonization process, the Hindu names that were given to certain areas, it is now being reported that this process has been stopped. It has been reversed according to the news. So our viewers should understand very clearly that once I have said something is going to happen, it absolutely means that it is going to happen. So then what exactly is the reason for this reversal? Whenever things like this happen, whether in India, Pakistan, or anywhere else, the steps for decolonization and de-radicalization are always the same. First, an announcement is made. It is done to test the waters and see what the reaction will be. If the reaction that comes back is negative, then from which particular sections of society is this negative feedback coming? How do you handle that specific section of society, and who can be put up in order to counter them? Funding is arranged for them. Then you will see Pakistani citizens on news channels explaining the cash flow, telling people there will be all these benefits. If tourists come, for example, this is all in preparation for a post-dollar world. It is not for the present time in Pakistan. This will happen. It will happen one step at a time. And then once all the countermeasures and arguments are firmly in place, this decision on renaming will eventually come back. So apart from this, no other cash flow is really possible. There is no sustainable cash flow for Pakistan. All right, so this is bound to happen. This is all part of Pakistan's preparation for the post-dollar multipolar world order. So do not link this to today. All the steps will be taken and this decision will come.